I thought the big difference in the game for us was defense, particularly the second half, where overall there were 7 times in the game where we stopped them 3 times in a row, and a lot of those took place in the second half. I think they were 3 times in the game where they scored 3 times in a row. That was in the first half, and then only did that. They did that only 1 time in the second half. So defensively, I felt like we really stepped up. And for this team, it's going to be. I think this game is going to be a microcosm of our season, where they started out, felt like they were jittery, nervous, didn't shoot the ball extremely well. And as the game went on, they kind of grew up during the course of the game to play this team. And they're going to have to do the same thing over the course of the year with the competition that's starting to come in here a week from Sunday. So it's nice to get this one out of the way and play in front of crowds. We also have a long way to go.
I guess it would have been easy for a group of young players who haven't played together to kind of fold in a game where they're down by 13 points in the first half. Does that at least kind of speak to their persistence and being able to play together and come back from a deficit like that?
I think it speaks to their character. I think this is a really, really good group of kids, and the only thing that wasn't happening for them was the ball was not going in. And I thought we rushed a couple of shots, guys trying to do too much. Milan came into the game and really settled us down and started to score. And then when Robo hit that groove that we see every day, that was the difference in the game we got going offensively. But it speaks tremendously, I think, to their character, their ability to not fold. And we're going to have to lean on that character because we're going to be in some adverse situations this year with this group until we kind of grow up and gel and come together.
This is kind of what you've seen from Robo during practice, and a lot of people haven't seen kind of what he's capable of. But this is something that you can kind of expect from him, game in, maybe not 30 points, but game in, game out, playing like this.
I think people will really see his offensive capabilities, his ability to shoot the ball, rebound the ball, shoot free throws. He's a tremendous offensive weapon. What will really help him, and what you did not see today, is Viante Daniels getting on his game. When you talk about Milan, he drove the ball and scored well, but KJ scores it, Arenze scores it. We can really score. And this game was just, I think, a lot of nerves, a lot of jitters for a lot of guys. So I think they'll see Robo maybe not score 30, but certainly you'll be able to see his ability to shoot it because he's a tremendous shooter.
Defensively speaking, you through the first 11 minutes and some change in the second half, you guys had only given up 6 points through a stretch, and then did you feel like they kind of got a little gas near the end of the game, or what happened when St. Martin started to score a bit near the end?
Well, the first half I experimented, you saw, with a lot of different lineups, just moving people in and out of the game because I'm trying to get these new guys to get their feet wet. Carter Skaggs, Quentin Henson, and I thought they were nervous. They made some mistakes on the floor. And then as we ended the first half, we settled into that lineup with Milan and Malachi, Viante, Robo, and Jeff. Those are 5 veteran players that were here last year. And to start the second half, I thought they really set the tone again. But at some point in time, you got to go to that bench. And when you went to that bench, in came the Quentin Hensons of the world again, Arenze Cheatham, who played better in the second half. But when you have a team down, I think we had them down like 16 at one time, that's a really good shooting basketball team. And we were really good when we paid attention to detail. But when you forgot something, didn't rotate the right way, they're a good enough team. I don't care what level they play. They're good enough shooters that they made you pay. So it was more about our breakdowns, but more about the way they shot that ball and they stayed in there.
You said in your press conference last week that it's going to be up to Malachi and Milan to figure out how to play with each other on the court. They played over 20 minutes together from what I saw tonight or today. How did you think they played together?
Well, one had 36 minutes and the other one had 30 minutes, and I thought they did a great job. And the thing I'm helping them to understand, I need them on the floor to close the half, and I need them on the floor to close the game. There are going to be at times where you need a point guard on the floor, and I can't have both of them out there fatigued at the same time. And you certainly can't pull one off the floor and leave the other one out there fatigued. So it becomes a juggling act on my part and their part. I'm just going to ask them to allow me to coach them and have a real good feel for that. And that's going to take some time, but those two together are really, really good. But yet it's going to take some time for us to gel with those two guys on the floor.
Do you expect that the rebounding to kind of be by committee, replacing what Josh did last year? Tonight it was Robo and Jeff. Do you expect those two to be kind of the top rebounders, or do you think it could kind of be different every night?
I thought there were probably 8 more rebounds Robo could have gotten. He could have had just a monster game on both sides of it. I thought Jeff was pretty active, but until we get Drick back, Drick Bernstein, and you don't have Cooper out there, Devontae Cooper, who won't, he's not as mobile as Drick, but Drick is a really good athlete that'll really man the post and be able to give Jeff an opportunity to rest and rebound the ball better. So we're playing with a small team at times, because when you get Jeff a roll ball off the floor, you got to bring in a Keith Langston at 6'5" with the Renze. That's not very big. So that becomes a rebound problem there. But when we can stay big and still stay athletic and still stay fast, which we can do with Drick, I think it'll help our rebounding a lot. And more importantly, it'll give us a chance to get out and run in transition. That first half, there were 8 second chance points that we gave up on the glass, and then we had 3 turnovers, which were another 6 points because they're out front. So you gave up 14 points just by not rebounding and unforced turnovers out front.
From what you've seen with this team, would you consider this an uncharacteristic free throw shooting night, 25 to 36? Are they usually much better than that?
Part of that's my fault. We spent a lot of time shooting the ball. I don't think we spent enough time shooting free throws. And that's one of the things I felt coming into the game. If there was an area that as a coach I need to do a better job and spend some more time on, it's free throw shooting. And it certainly showed up tonight. But we'll get better between now and next week when we open up in that area.
What was your decision making behind the zone defense? And you guys switched to man-to-man, it seemed like, the start of the second half, and created some turnovers with the man-to-man defense. St. Martin's shot the ball pretty well against Washington in their first game and was shooting well in the first half against you guys.
Well, we really were never in an all-out zone. I think with the way we play defense, it looks like that. But we were in man-to-man the entire game just because they do shoot the ball so well, and we saw how well they shot it against Washington. But they're a team, again, that if you don't play with energy, and you cannot afford to go under a screen with a team that shoots it like that, they'll make you pay. So we were never in zone. We disguised our man a little bit, but they just did a good job, I thought, of getting out to a tremendous start. And we reeled them in with that group on the floor to close out the half. In the second half, where we kind of dominated the game at the defensive end of the floor.